Hello, everybody. Well, it is March 11th, 2025, here as we're getting closer and closer to our severe weather or our possibly significant severe weather outbreak potential. But for today, we just had some normal thunderstorms in California and Arizona. Um, we do have for tomorrow a marginal risk in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas, and a slight risk in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Um, there is a 15% hatch risk of seeing some hail of 2 inch in diameter or greater within 25 miles of the yellow, and then a 5% chance of seeing hail 1 inch in diameter or greater in the brown. A wind, a 15% chance of seeing wind gusts of 50 knots or stronger, and then outside of that, a 5% chance of seeing wind gusts of 50 knots or stronger. We also do have a conditional tornado threat in Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, meaning if conditions are favorable, a tornado could drop, but the chances are not very high for a tornado. That is for tomorrow. Day 3, we have a marginal risk in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Man, it just seems like these guys can't catch a break. And then normal thunderstorm chances in Oregon and California and Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, so Arkansas. We'll go to our day 4 and 5. Day 4, we do have a large slight risk extending from southwestern Minnesota to central Louisiana, including Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. And we do have a pretty significantly sized enhanced risk, including Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas. And day 5, we have even another large slight risk extending from Ohio down to Louisiana. In between there, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana. And we do have an enhanced risk, a larger enhanced risk with eastern Mississippi, almost all of Alabama, and then western Georgia, and then southern Tennessee. So all of Alabama looks like to be in the crosshairs of this event. And then day 6, we have a slight risk on the East Coast with Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, all in the path. And then day 7, day 8, potential predictability too low. So that is the outlooks. If we go and look at pivotal weather here, we'll get a better look and see so you can we'll go ahead here. If you guys watched yesterday's video, you remember this low pressure system here kind of went right through like central and east central Nebraska. Now it has kind of shifted more to the east, so the low pressure system is going to go through northeast Nebraska, pushing the threat for some thunderstorms Friday evening in eastern Nebraska higher. And then the chance of snow in central Nebraska is lower, and now western Nebraska will be seeing the snow portion of this cell storm come up until Saturday morning. Potentially some snow in northeastern Nebraska. I'd say your bigger amounts will be more extreme northeast Nebraska, up around the Iowa, South Dakota border. But you could see traces from a dusting to maybe 2 inches in northeast Nebraska, and then extreme northeast Nebraska maybe 2 to 4. It just depends. But if we focus on the storm portion of this on Friday, you can see supercells start to form, just to the east of Kansas City, probably right on top of maybe just east of Joplin, maybe right on top of Joplin, Missouri. And they're just going to continue to move east and intensify within these two model frames here, okay? If it was me personally, I wouldn't look too much at the outlook of severity, as it does look like the severest of the storm looked to be in eastern Iowa, eastern Missouri, western Illinois. Even though the enhanced risk does go down here to Arkansas, I wouldn't look too much into the outlook colors and severity, as anywhere from Minnesota down to Louisiana, you could see severe weather Friday. And then as we go ahead to Saturday, it looks like it's going to start as supercells forming, moving into potentially a linear storm, but it mostly looks like it's going to be a supercell Saturday, but Friday looks like it's going to start as supercells, but by the time it hits its peak intensity, it's just going to be a line. So strong gusty winds, large hail, QLCS tornado, maybe some strong tornadoes when the supercells first form. Can't rule it out. Saturday, on the other hand, though, looks like supercells mostly all day Saturday. Strong tornadoes. Looks like the chance for strong tornadoes is higher than Friday. In my opinion, I would look more towards Saturday for the chance for significant tornadoes. But that's just me. From these models, you can see. And then this Saturday, the quote unquote bomb cyclone moves out Friday. Okay. And then this storm system itself creates its own low level pressure, but it doesn't last very long. And then Sunday, everything moves off to the coast. And then, gets off coast. And then what looks like maybe next Wednesday, Nebraska could be seeing some more snow. You can kind of see the line. Looks like northwest Kansas, south central Nebraska, and northeast Nebraska look like the big target points for maybe some ice, sleet, and some significant snowfall. And then that moves through Wednesday night. And then as it moves easterly, the snow starts to pile up now in eastern Nebraska. And then that moves out. Another potential storm system down in Dixie Valley in the Ohio River Valley late next week again. And then we go again, we have this new low pressure system moving in. But this is going to bring some severe weather to the Midwest, or not the Midwest, but the Missouri River Valley and down to Dixie Valley. But it seems it's a lot more stationary with where it's located. And then, so the Midwest could see, so Oklahoma, so the OKC metro area, Dallas, Fort Worth, you could see some severe weather within the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And then it's going to move off to the east to Dixie Valley again. But by the time it gets to Mississippi, it's kind of broken apart. So maybe it won't be as bad as what this shows. Okay, so let's get in depth here for Friday and Saturday here with dew points and humidity. So as we go ahead, we'll get to Friday. Dew points up around the main storm area in the low to mid 50s. So some humidity in the area. The only thing that I can see hampering Saturday's event is how far south this system dips down. If it stays on the track that it's on right now, I don't see anything hampering from a tornado outbreak happening in Mississippi and Alabama on Saturday. But that's what it looks like to me. We'll look at lapse rates. This is the difference in temperature change when you get a kilometer higher in the atmosphere. The steeper the lapse rate, the more instability in the atmosphere. So about 9.2 degrees Celsius, each kilometer up, it's getting colder, or each kilometer down, it's getting warmer. So we're going to go to Friday here, and you're kind of see how this plays out, okay? The highest areas look like eastern Missouri and eastern Iowa and western Illinois for Friday. Now Saturday, the main areas look like Mississippi and Alabama. Okay? We'll go to surface-based CAPE, because this is what the storms are going to feed off of. For Friday, the majority looks like central, eastern Iowa, and then later on, maybe northeastern Missouri, then that central line into Mississippi and Alabama on Saturday. You can see the Cape in southwestern Missouri and eastern Louisiana, and that moves out. We'll look at surface-based SIN, which is convective inhibition, which is basically like a cap on top, preventing storms from erupting and becoming severe. So, anywhere we see white, there's no cap. Basically, any supercell that would form out here within the conditions given would strike. But, you're not going to get a supercell here in northwestern Louisiana when the cap is at negative 346 joules per kilogram. That's just not how it just won't. It's not possible. So we go to Friday. There does seem to be a cap, but the cap, I think, is weak enough. This shows a pretty strong cap in central Iowa, central Missouri. But I do think the cap does weaken tremendously when this moves by. And then obviously the cap is going to rebuild overnight. But with the given parameters we have, I don't think the cap would have to be ridiculously strong to prevent anything from happening, and from my viewpoint, from my eyes. But you can see the cap kind of here on Friday night. It kind of rebuilds, but by the time the storms start firing, the cap is gone. And then as it moves out, it rebuilds itself. So, we'll go to LCL height. This is just the cloud-based height. Anywhere from 500 feet to 800 feet, those LCL heights are normally associated with EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. So your significant tornadoes are associated with, your 500 to 800 feet cloud bases. So we'll go ahead and look for Friday. The brighter the color, the higher the base. The lighter the color, like the white and the light grays and bluish grays, are lower bases. So we'll go to Friday as the storm rolls through. Looks like a fairly high cloud base on Friday. So the chance of seeing a significantly strong tornado, unless you're in eastern Arkansas, eastern Iowa, eastern Missouri, western Illinois, the chances of seeing a significantly strong tornado there Friday are not very high. Now, you could see a stray strong tornado, or not strong, but a significant tornado in eastern Arkansas, as the cloud base is not as high as it is in Iowa and Missouri. But that doesn't mean a strong tornado isn't capable in Iowa or Missouri. It just means the conditions are not favorable for a strong tornado. But as we go ahead towards Saturday, you can tell the colors are a lot lighter. There's more of this white, light gray color on the map, meaning the cloud base is extremely low for Saturday, meaning the chance of a significantly strong tornado happening Saturday is a lot higher than it would be on Friday evening. So we'll go and look at the supercell composite here to see so if we look Wednesday, the number one day looks like Wednesday, late Wednesday evening. Looks like in southeastern Oklahoma, looks like the best chance for seeing a tornado. But that doesn't mean that a supercell that forms outside of that area can't form a tornado. It just won't be strong, and it probably won't last more than maybe 3 minutes or what now. But as we go ahead to Friday, you can see the supercells forming, and we have this heightened area in Arkansas for supercells, which is what all the models show of a chance for tornadoes in Arkansas. Now, the chances for it in Iowa or Missouri, not as high. And as it moves out, we'll get to Saturday as the supercell composite shows a lot more concentrated area of seeing significantly strong tornadoes in Mississippi and Alabama. The models show possible PDS tornadoes. So the model shows Saturday as the more prominent tornado day. But that can change as we're still 4 to 5 days out, so this could still change and most likely will. But it looks like Saturday looks like the day where the potential for seeing the stronger, more significant tornadoes is the highest. If we go to the energy helicity to see the energy that the storms will be feeding off of, we go to Friday. The energy is highly concentrated in central Arkansas and then western Illinois. Okay. And then if we go to Saturday, got high energy in Mississippi and high energy in Alabama. This is what's feeding those supercells to form those significantly strong tornadoes. Again, the only thing I see hampering the chance for a significant severe weather outbreak or potential tornado outbreak on Saturday is how far on Friday does that low pressure system drop south, moving east. Because if it drops far enough south, it moves east enough, it can take away some of those dew points in the humidity down in Alabama, Mississippi, limiting the potential for a tornado outbreak on Saturday. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like anything like that is going to happen, sadly. So still need to stay weather aware as a potential tornado outbreak is possible Saturday into Sunday morning. As we jump ahead here into next week, we do have an increase in supercells in southern Mississippi again, but I don't know if the potential. So there is a tornado potential. This is a week out, so take it with a grain of salt. A week from Wednesday, but I do think that next week, 2 weeks, we could see some active weather in the Midwest, as models are showing. But I mean, you can see the highlighted area here of supercells in Texas, but the conditions don't look favorable. The base is kind of low, but there seems to be a cap in place, which is hampering the formation of tornadoes. But you can't just be like, oh, cap, no tornadoes, because stuff can happen and most likely will happen. But it all depends on how and when. But that'll wrap it up for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button. Comment down below if you're new, where you're from, what your biggest concerns are for this next storm system as it moves east these next couple days. Subscribe, and if you're new and you haven't already, tell your friends and family about the channel. And you know what, I will see you in the next one.